Paige Bueckers, unbothered by Caitlin Clark comparisons, as Wings rookie sets her own path after preseason debut. Welcome to the W. That was the message for Paige Bueckers on Friday night as she made her long-anticipated WNBA debut. Facing the reigning two-time champions, the Las Vegas Aces, in front of more than 7,000 fans, the 2025 #1 overall pick finally suited up for the Dallas Wings in a preseason matchup. The result? A tough 112-78 loss, but the night was far from a failure for the former UConn star. Though the scoreboard tilted heavily in favor of the Aces, the spotlight stayed on Bueckers, and so did the comparisons. Naturally, questions surfaced about her being stacked up against last year's #1 pick, Caitlin Clark, who lit the league on fire in her rookie season with record-breaking assists, an all-WNBA first-team nod, and a massive boost to league viewership. But Bueckers, as poised as ever, brushed off the chatter. "No expectations," she said plainly, when asked about the constant Clark comparisons. "That comes from outside sources. I'm just building with this team, trying to get better every day." Expectations are a narrative the media creates. I'm not letting outside voices in. There was no defensiveness, no denial, just focus. For Bueckers, the goal is clear: chart her own course, not chase someone else's. It's easy to see why the comparisons arise. Both were NCAA icons, both entered the WNBA with massive hype, and both have the talent to shape the future of the league. Clark dazzled with a 21-point debut, but Bueckers made her own mark on Friday, dropping 10 points in 23 minutes on an efficient 4 of 7 shooting, including 2 deep threes that echoed her UConn brilliance. Still, it wasn't flawless. There were early fouls, some frustration with officiating, and the sting of a blowout loss. But it's worth noting, Clark's debut wasn't perfect either. She tallied 21 points, but also committed 10 turnovers, setting a Fever franchise record. The leap from college hero to pro contributor is steep for everyone, and for Bueckers, it's all happening fast. "Honestly, there wasn't a lot of time to prepare," she admitted. Her debut came just 5 days into her first training camp, and not even a month after she cut down the nets in the NCAA tournament. But even through the rough edges, her performance hinted at readiness and resilience. Her ability to stay steady, even amid hype and high expectations, drew praise from peers. Clark herself once noted on Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird's The Bird and Taurasi Show that nothing ever seems to faze her. She's just always the same constant leader. Yet Bueckers isn't the only one learning on the fly. The Wings are undergoing a full rebuild. After finishing 931 last season, the second worst record in the league, and struggling with injuries to stars like Satou Sabally, the organization hit reset. Head coach Latricia Trammell was let go, and new coach Chris Cochran has since begun assembling an almost entirely new roster. Only 3 players from last year's team return, meaning Bueckers is just one of many navigating uncharted waters in Dallas. In that context, her preseason debut was more than a stat line. It was a signal. Paige Bueckers may be new to the WNBA, but she's not new to pressure. And she's not here to live in anyone's shadow. "You set a ceiling for yourself when you live in other people's expectations," she said. "I'm just here to work and grow with this team." And so begins the next chapter, not as the next Caitlin Clark, but simply as Paige Bueckers, finding her way and writing her own story.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we are joined by Coach Class, Zai James, and Paige Bueckers. We'll open up to questions in person, and then we'll move to the Zoom.
Adam Embry with ESPN. Paige, what was just this day like emotionally, kind of going through it? And then obviously, Paige, you've been in a lot of big games. What was it just like being out there again?
Yeah, it's super surreal in terms of the turnaround from where I was 2 weeks ago to where I am today. But just soaking it up, enjoying every moment, getting used to new routines, traditions, new teammates, new organization, and just excited to play basketball again. Just new group and trying to grow and get better every single day.
I know it's just one game, but you, like in terms of a difference, do you notice much of a difference? Obviously, playing with this level of player out there versus the college game.
Yeah, the pace, the flow of the game, the talent level, of course. We're playing, especially against the Aces, against like 5 Olympian level players, and just a great team and organization. And yeah, I would say that.
Go ahead. This is also for Paige. Did you expect to get this kind of ovation from the Notre Dame crowd? Did you bring all those people from your home state?
Well, it wasn't UConn playing Notre Dame, so you expect a little bit different energy from the crowd. But just this environment, I thought it was a great idea to come back and have preseason games at college campuses. So hopefully we can get one at UConn.
Carvel, Associated Press, this is also for Paige. Can you talk about how you prepared to transition to the WNBA, especially looking back at some of the experiences of other #1 selections?
Honestly, there was not a lot of time to prepare. Like I said, in terms of the turnaround from season to season. But just leaning on what's gotten me here, continue to build off that, get ready for the physical level of play, try to stay as well conditioned as I could, but also getting a break and rest between last season, this upcoming season. So just leaning on all those things.
Did the WNBA or the Wings talk to you about how to handle just that line between basketball and celebrity, given that you're #1 in the world?
I don't see myself as a celebrity at all, just a basketball player.
But did you get any advice on just how to approach the season?
I mean, we talk amongst players. Me and coach talk just about staying present and being where your feet are, and that's all we're really focused on.
Christian Conway, Winsider. Isaiah, first question's for you. You played with so much confidence today. Did you know that you were going to go out there and play like that, or did you just kind of get into the flow of the game?
You know, coach always emphasized just being ready when your number called, and when my number was called, I was ready. I was ready to feel the fire. I'm a rookie, so it's my job to keep the momentum when I'm coming off the bench.
Did you notice any difference of pace between the college level and then the WNBA level?
Definitely, it's definitely a fast pace, but just taking time, being where I'm at, and learning from my vets and my coaches, and allowing myself to control myself, and being able to keep up with the pace.
Thank you.
For Coach, just what were some of your overall takeaways from the game, and just what are some things you can maybe build on with a week of practices ahead?
Yeah, again, that was our start. That was our start, and it's just the start. So lots of new pieces working together, playing together for the first time. Again, it's the fifth day. So I thought we saw a little zone. We had to prep for that. I thought what hurt us too was just the live ball turnovers, because those live balls, those steals, now when you're in transition, it's really tough to be able to match up and get your defense set. So you saw us kind of out there. It looked like we were lost, but a lot of it was off of steals, live ball turnovers. So it's hard to get matched up and get people guarded. So if we could clean it up a little bit and take care of the ball better and make simpler plays, I think that'll help.
And then you tried some small ball lineups. Obviously, as you guys are just testing different lineups, just what were some of your impressions of how those look today, and what excites you about the potential of those?
Yeah, again, I love our roster's versatility and just an ability to play different ways based on how the game is flowing, on our personnel, opponents' personnel. So it was good. Again, and that's the balance with these preseason games, right? It's trying to figure out lineups, trying to figure out combinations, all while giving them time to grow and feel what it's like to play together, all while giving other people opportunities to make a team. So there's a lot going on right now.
Go over to the Zoom with Dorothy.
Hi, Coach. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay. Coach, question for you, Coach, and a question for Isaiah. Talk about what you saw out of JJ today, and for Isaiah, what part of your game are you most proud of today, and what do you want to work to improve for the next game?
Yeah, I thought, first with Isaiah, I thought she came in ready. She was a spark off the bench right away and fearless. And so I love that, just playing with an edge like she belongs here, because she does. And then JJ the same, right? JJ came in fearless, right? You look out there, she's tiny, but she plays way bigger, right? Her ability to impact the ball, and then you saw when she's got the ball in her hand, she can get anywhere on the floor, right? She was really good just getting the spots. And and put a lot of pressure on the defense, dominating the paint, and unafraid to attack the rim at her height. So I was impressed with the pressure that she put on the rim.
Just with my game today, I feel like we on all three levels, hitting the three, trying to attack hill, seeing open mans on the cuts, things I can work on, just, fighting over those screens and being more physical and, just getting to that point.
Go to Rob.
I have one question for Paige and one for Isaiah. For Paige, if you reflect on your first WNBA game on the court, it looked like you were finding your groove out there, and how is it adjustment for you? Not only with the pace, but also just relying on what's making you succeed in the basketball court. And for Isaiah, I saw that you and your developing great chemistry out there. So, what's your experience of gelling with your teammates in this preseason matchup versus a training camp environment?
Yeah, I mean, like Coach talked about, this is just a start, and you want to continue to build off that. But in terms of today, I thought, like Isaiah was talking about, like screen navigation on defense is a place where I want to improve. We want to improve as a team, so continue to grow on that. And then just also, like Coach talked about, limiting live ball turnovers and getting better matchups on transition defense. So in terms of like places and areas we need to grow, I think those are the areas.
Definitely my vets make me comfortable, so I feel like when I go out there, I can trust everybody on the court. They can trust me on the court, so, just Maddie cuts all the time, so just keep looking for her and just, passing it to her, it was good.
We'll go to Jim Conley.
Hi, Paige. My question is for Paige. Paige, congrats on the debut there tonight. Looking ahead to the new season, do you feel any weight of expectation on your shoulders after coming off this year's draft class and coming off an all-star draft class the year before with Caitlin, Reese, Cameron? Do you feel a weight of expectation on your shoulders to live up to continue the success of that draft class being the leading limelight of this year's draft class?
No expectations. I feel like that comes from an outside source, so just building with the team here, trying to get better every single day, like I talk about every single time. And don't worry about expectations. Don't set yourself to a ceiling of what you can achieve, but just try to be better and win the day. Outside sources are a narrative that the media tries, or expectations are a narrative that the media tries to create. So not letting outside sources in is really the expectation.
Time for a couple more. DJ Moreau, go ahead.
My question for Isaiah and for Paige. What was one moment tonight that made you realize this is the WNBA?
I feel like when I try to take that charge, I think that was my welcome to the W.
That's my bad, Isaiah. I should have challenged that. Didn't have your back there. I apologize.
Definitely fighting over screens. They're a lot bigger. They're a lot more physical. So screen navigation was definitely something that was different in college.
Dwayne Marcus, go ahead.
Just one question for Isaiah and Paige. The Wings have a lot of great talented guards that, like you guys have alluded to. I think I'm drawn to one fan in particular so far. What do you think?
I feel like it's not just one, it's all our vets. All our vets help us every day, on and off the court. I feel like we just go to that's what it is.
Yeah, I would say the same thing that I said.
Christos, go ahead.
Hello, you're doing well. Paige, question for you. In a game with different speed compared to the college, even in the precision game of WNBA, how confident you feel that you can be the floor general on the floor, you brought your A game, and how often Garland can brought in as soon as possible?
Yeah, I think the coaching staff has given me confidence. The teammates around me have given me confidence. Definitely wasn't perfect, but I think communication is one of the most important parts of basketball. So to continue to get better at that, get more comfortable, learn how to play with each other, play in the system, and just get more game reps, practice reps. That'll lead to a lot more comfortability amongst everyone.
And last question to Brad.
Yes, I think we have those Brad WSB. The question is for Coach. Can you speak
Yeah, Maddie was Maddie, and I think she goes underappreciated a lot. Her motor is impressive, and she's just constant movement, right? So she's always putting pressure on the defense with her movement, and we expect her to have a big role for us. Again, we're still learning each other and carving out roles and figuring out lineups, and that'll all settle into its place. But Maddie Seegers is definitely a part of this.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.